Like, I don't know. I feel like half the time.
Hello! Like, half the time Vale's what, Forak?
Well, these crazy ladies, man. And the other half of the time, he's like, snarf, snarf,
Snarf, snarf. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to, what is it, week 6? Week 6 of Jarviskjir House Affair. Times flew by. If you didn't catch last week's, the long and short of it, in fact the short of it is, they finished their quest. Their quest, they work for House of Ghast. They all still work for House of Ghast. They finished the quest, they went back to the Elfin Lands with a complete, rousing success. You know, they did exactly what they intended to do. They got paid handsomely. Maybe not as handsomely as some other adventurers, but a sizable amount of money. And they gave most of that money away to charity. Vale didn't. But Vale, slunk off into the shadows, as he's oft to do, right? So, where we continue, right at the end of last session, there was a fight. So, they're in Aradia, the city of Wood Elves. Beautiful place. They just went to the dock districts to find a woman named Layla. A red-headed woman wearing red, wearing Goldport fashion, looks like a Goldport type. Very clearly a wizard or a mage. They know that. She actually wielded fire magic in the fight they just had because a woman who was kind of Forak's boss just hunted them down and tried to kill them. They defeated them very successfully. In fact, it was Caitlin who landed the killing blow, taking that great sword that Forak had reforged and just a moment ago sliced the dwarven woman in half. And not like in half. In half. It is bloody. The camera comes back with a shot of the city. And then Caitlin, coated in blood, panting, badly wounded. Only for a mixture of her own and Gilwyn's healing magic is she still standing. And she's barely standing. Wound in her side, wound in her shoulder, various other wounds, And they all were done with rock weapons and smushed against a rocky ground. So there's like dirt and pebbles and shit in her wounds. That's not good. With Gilwyn and Forak to assist. And that is where we return.
Even though I am standing there panting heavily, I would immediately sort of turn around and look at Layla and say, apologies, Madam Layla. It appears we got you caught up in some of our own business. Are you unhurt? Do you need healing?
I am...
And I realise I'm covered in blood.
Yes, I know, that's the thing. That's the thing. I am very well. I'm very well. What happened? Were these people sent to kill me?
I think it more likely they were sent to kill us, or probably specifically Sir Forak. She seemed to know you.
Yes, they are looking for traitors. Traitors of the dwarven people. Secrets of theirs were stolen for your master. And so they are here trying to get... perhaps this is not the last time that they'll come for us?
Well, that's as maybe. Are you, Sir Forak, Sir Gilwyn, are you both unhurt?
I took a ding, but I'm alright.
I'm not bleeding.
In that case, and I just use lay on hands to heal 10 HP.
Caitlin, your hair's doing a something about Mary thing right now with some blood. You might want to just... There you go.
So,
thank you.
Layla
It is not blood. I got a little excited.
Layla slowly walks over. She steps deliberately over a corpse of one of the lesser soldiers, and towards them, and kind of readjusts her cloak and things, and it is just... She looks troubled. She looks a little troubled by all this. She was willing to go with you, although she did kind of attack you at first. But, her face does speak wonders of the situation going on in her head right now.
So, Layla, we're good now? You're not going to try and set Caitlin's face on fire anymore? Past that?
I don't know. She seems to be an uncaged animal. And she very obviously looks at the twitching legs of the dwarven woman They're just like oozing blood, and if you remember correctly, like Forak destroyed a fountain to do this. And so there's water everywhere, and all the blood is running down these cobblestones. And it was a quiet part of the city, but it's actually the running pinkish water that's starting to attract attention. You can hear people yelping and screaming, and then like following it and seeing this whole scene and being incredibly horrified.
Orak, fix that fountain. Put the fucking stone back.
I do not think good idea. I need the stone in case we get attacked again. Perhaps they have more in city, ready to attack at any point because we betrayed them and stole their secrets and gave them to elves.
We don't have guards after us, you vandal. I'm only kidding.
You vandal.
You vandal! Oh.
I don't think the guards coming after us is a big concern. We work for people here, influence and money. They'll protect us.
Look, and these dwarves attacked us out of the blue. At the very least, they would protect. They would listen to our side of the story. I'm sure. I should point out, Caitlin is looking. Caitlin looked a little wounded by the uncaged animal remark, but sort of like, well, that's a bit harsh, but okay.
It's not inaccurate.
For considering this is a person who just met you,
Yeah.
I think you can see where she's coming from, right?
But she calls everyone sir.
In any case, Madam Lady, we should get you to House Agast. I don't imagine they will attack us again quickly, but it'd be best to get you to a safe location.
Yes, I would hope Agast would be a safe place for me.
It certainly should be. Let's go.
So, as you start walking, no, you don't need perception checks to see a small group of guards. It's actually 4 guards, Iranian guards, literally like are walking up the street, kind of power walking. They're walking with purpose. They're like, okay, something's going on here. We're coming here, and they walk up, and you are clearly. Like the scene behind you, you're leaving. Caitlin's coated in blood. Gilwyn is a little injured. Forak is weird looking. They like step up and they just immediately like a couple of them draw them swords. 2 of them like ready their spears. Like, speak up. What is the meaning of this?
I put my hands up in like a pulsating gesture immediately. Apologies. We were attacked by a group of dwarves. They came out of the blue. We were escorting this lady to House Agast. It's urgent business, so I'm afraid we didn't have time to inform you of it. But we dealt with them all. It's just I'm afraid there'll be some clear up.
I'm gonna need you to give me a persuasion roll.
Oh God!
These guards do not look amused, but this is possible. They just kind of like look at the scene, and then they clearly look at Caitlin. She's the one coated in blood. She's the one carrying the weapons. I imagine the rest of you put your weapons away, and even Caitlin did, but still, like, hers are much more obvious. Frank's just big old bulky body, and cloak just kind of hides the big old stuff.
Stone.
Yeah. I mean, you're still wearing the cloak.
Yeah.
Shoulders
just,
down. They actually start surrounding you, but not in an actual like formation surrounding, but like they're sort of walking around surveying the scene. The one that started talking to you keeps talking and is like, business of house or not, if you have no official paperwork you can show me immediately, then this scene is going to need further questioning. And he just kind of like, again, looks to the, like, at this point Balthilda's legs stop twitching, but still.
I am happy to accompany you if it will lay your fears at rest. But would you please allow my companions to escort the lady to House Agast? She might be in danger, and we don't want that.
Try another persuasion. Again, maybe you'll be able to convince them that they're not the threat and you are. Is the whole point of this one.
Oh come on!
You're a group. You're all going in. You're all coming with us. And he kind of like makes a motion, like, don't cause any trouble. We don't want to have to restrain you. And the ones that were walking behind you with the spears, they kind of like move their spears out like this, almost like a wall, like you're walking that way. You follow. And I assume you follow.
I definitely follow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're being punished for doing bad things.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
You're
appropriate.
being taken to one of the sort of precincts is the best word for it, but keeps is a little more accurate.
You're nicked.
Yeah, you're nicked. You're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Hopefully you do.
I don't know. I think I might get away scot-free.
Fucking hell. Again, that's one of those jokes you can only make once. And you've done it. You've done it now.
Only make once until everyone forgets it, and then you can make it again.
Exactly. Once like every 12 episodes. So...
Every long rest.
Thank you, Dean.
Subject. You regain issues with a long
I'm going to have to
rest.
check the rules on that one. So, we take you to this keep. It's actually on the dock. It's actually on the water side, which makes sense. I mean, the dock district would have a little bit more guards than other ones, and this isn't even like a full military barracks. It's just sort of like a jail thing and a waiting thing. You immediately notice as you're walked in, and you're not walked in through... similar to a modern day police station, someone would be like, so someone stole my sweet roll. Someone could run up through into the entrance. You're taken into the guards entrance where you're literally sort of dragged into the jails, and you can see actually being dragged out is Vale. Like another guard is just sort of like dragging him by the collar and passes you. You probably get a little bit of eye contact, which you can describe in a minute, and kind of pushes him out on the other side of this little gate. There's a portcullis, but it's like half up. Everyone can walk under it easily. But it's more like a wooden gate to a stables, actually, at the moment. Because they're not preparing for, like, battle. And he is, like, pushed outside, and they kind of drop his things with the bows and the weapons and stuff outside. You might be a couple of coin lighter. You know, who knows. But you saw them as they were being carted inside. What was that interaction like, friends?
Hi, Vale. We're being arrested for self-defense. Bye.
They'll like looks at you and just like he just does shifty eye and then just a little grin as he gets dragged out.
Caitlin just rolls her eyes at seeing Vale getting dragged down. Like, oh,
I'll get
right,
I'll get the guard's attention that's closest to me and be like, this man, this elf, he's with us.
Explain?
He's with us. He was a part of everything. He knows. He's with us.
Oi! You! Come over here.
What is it now? You just let
He like literally walks over and just kind of like clamps you by the hand. Like he doesn't have a handcuff in his hand. He just like starts dragging you back inside. Now, luckily for all of you, you are put in a large holding cell together, and it's actually like a reasonable amount of room. All your weapons that they can immediately see are taken off you. You notice a few things. In fact, Forak, anyone who cares to give me an Arcana roll, but I mean, I'm thinking Forak is the only one who might know
Can
what
I
to do.
attempt to conceal a dagger? They've just thrown me out with
Yes, I think that's reasonable.
I'd like to attempt to
Give me a
stuff
sleight
one
of
in the
hand
gun.
for that.
Yeah, I wanted to do that as well, if possible.
Yeah, try.
What? Actually, if they're going to try and conceal daggers, can I, while they're trying to conceal us, not exact as sort of a distraction-y thing, I would actually ask the guard.
Conceal my greatsword.
No, I would ask the guard if we'll cooperate with your questioning, but could you please send someone to notify House Aghast that Madame Layla is here. They would be they at least want to get her free of this.
You do
situation.
notice, like, with Layla, when they're taking all the weapons, Gilwyn, they do take your dagger. They take, like, it's like you're literally in, like, a moment, like, and then, like they knew you were trying to do it, but they don't really punish you in any way. But the elf that's actually taking your weapons away has not only a huge scar across his face, but also just has, like, no emotion. He's just, like, taking things. He's not even really properly looking at you. He's just, like, taking everyone's stuff. Vale, you do stash wherever. I'm not going to say it's in Nature's pocket, but it is stashed.
There are many places on Minsk that Boone may hide.
Okay. Caitlin, give me a persuasion roll. While that's going on, you do notice that while they didn't notice anything magical about Forak, they do take his axe thing. They do take Layla's little pocketbook thing. It's very small for a spell book. They do take it and they flick through it, and like little bits of predestinations sparks kind of fly out. They kind of pocket it. They don't pocket it. They actually leave everything for now on in a chest, just within actual sight of you. Like there are probably 4 holding cells here on each of the walls, but one of them has 2 cells, and then this is like behind a desk. It's you say that, Caitlin, and they kind of like, I don't think you work for House Agast.
Oh, are you willing to bet that, Are you willing to bet? How much do you get paid? Probably not as much as members from House Agast. After the way you have treated me and dragging my friends in now. Oh, you'll be lucky to get away without missing a hand.
You pirates always have empty threats. Ever since Bloodbeard was slain, you pirates mean nothing. And you always will. And he kind of like does that as he does the final lock of the cell.
If we are making requests, I have one. These dwarves, they do nothing wrong. They get orders by their family. They are honorable. They deserve good burial. Perhaps send back to family.
Give me a persuasion roll, but that's going to be way easier than Caitlin's thing, because that's like actually a reasonable thing to ask while you're being arrested.
Do I have disadvantage because I'm dealing with elves?
Yes.
Okay.
You're trying to be like humble, but you're like sneering instinctually.
I don't think my last one was unreasonable, to
They-
be honest.
Honestly, it wasn't, but
They smell bad. I'm sorry, elves. It's like when somebody puts on perfume, it smells nice, but then they fucking put a whole bottle on.
it's too much,
That's
and it's
what elves
perfume
smell
on
like to me.
perfume. It's a whole
ugh.
thing.
It's like fucking bathe before you put another layer on, please.
You say that, and one of the guards kind of like, yes, we'll get to the bottom of what happened, but be assured, they will, the appropriate things will be made. And he actually kind of writes that down, and you can tell he's probably writing down something. It would be weird if he wrote down something unrelated, right? So he walks around, and you're given just a bit of time on your own. There's maybe a beat of silence before Layla, who Vale, you didn't met, is this person you were tracked to get, this red-headed human woman, just kind of goes, well, this is the situation I was trying to avoid when I tried to attack you. Honestly.
Trapped in a small room with a very handsome elf, perhaps? No, not going? Fine. My other comment was I'm going to kill that guard when I get out.
I am very sorry, Madam Layla. We didn't expect them to. Well, we didn't expect anyone to come after us. We thought that would be a safe, an easy trip back.
Someone came after you. Who was it?
Sephorak can explain that better, I believe.
I do not need details. You know, come on.
Some of the dwarves.
We are traitors to the dwarves.
You are traitor to the dwarves.
No, we lull them into thinking that it's okay for us to have secrets, and then we give secrets to the elves. We stole.
Yes, I am okay with stealing.
And
I have done it quite a lot.
And then they send assassins.
Well, it does not look like they were particularly effective assassins. They did not even manage to do in Cat.
This time.
No offense, Cat, but you are looking worse for wear.
Well, it was a close run thing. If it weren't for Sir Gilwyn's healing magic, I might have fallen. But
Vale, you should have seen Caitlin. It was fucking amazing.
Yes.
She sliced the guy in two. She yelled at a guy and said, "You're mine," something like that. I stabbed a guy in the nostril. Sorry.
I have only seen a man be cleaved into twice. In my opinion, it is very smelly.
Was it smelly?
No.
It's one of those things where it probably was, right? You
I cannot usually smell over myself.
It is when you get halfway down, you get to the bowels and everything opens, and oh boy. Not that I have done it, but I have seen it done.
I don't think I could ever do that.
Oh, you will one day. I'm sure of it. I've seen the things you have done with that rapier, and you are not a good person on the battlefield.
No,
But
I kind of feel bad about what I've been doing. But it's either that or die.
Very true. Very true.
What I can say about Caitlin and her combat abilities is they are far superior to that of any elf. No elf could do what she does, because clearly she's better than elves.
Each one of you roll me perception real quick. For no reason at all.
Obviously, she is also better than dwarves, as they are dead now.
Those dwarves. Yes. Those dwarves indeed.
Caitlin, while you're having this conversation, and Forak, you notice it just a little after Caitlin, footsteps. Light footsteps, not armored like the elves, but obviously coming towards you. It's one of those things you can clearly tell. All the rest of the holding cells are empty. There are smaller cells that have people in when you pass them on the way in here. All the other holding cells are empty. If someone's coming here, they're coming for you.
I would ensure that Layla is behind me. Because I don't really know what the
Okay, so the layout of this little cell is basically you have a bench, right? And it is a wooden bench. And there would also be there would definitely be a bucket, but it's a nice elven bucket, a nice elven basin. And there is actually, it's quite nice. There's a constant stream of running water, but it's one of those things where it's a little too constant. You might be getting a little bit of Chinese water torture going on. It's just like dripping deliberately through like a bamboo thing down into the basin and out. It's a little annoying. But so you can like scooch in front of it, or maybe stand in front of her. Who comes round the corner, and it might catch you by surprise, because you're like little combat instincts kind of catch in. Then I guess Caitlin is a gnome, man, who like you're looking up and then you like look down in well dressed. And it's the sort of thing where it's not quite armor. It probably would count as leather armor because it's decorated, but it's more like a military uniform, similar to the elves, but not full armor. He does have a weapon on him, and you don't really know much about elves, but seems fairly well groomed, a little old, a little tired. His eyes gnomes have big emotional eyes, and his are a little tired looking. And he kind of looks you all over and takes a swig of a little sort of vial. And tucks it into a chest pocket. It's like, well, so I heard you're in here because you murdered a bunch of dwarves in the city then.
It was self-defense. They attacked us out of the blue.
Well, why would they have a reason
assassins.
to... Assassins? That's the reason why they have to attack you. Then what have you done to get a bounty on your heads then?
We stole something from them.
You stole from them? So the blame is still, well, they're still dead.
I believe it is a bit more complicated than stealing from them. We were in their city and retrieved some secrets on house business. Although, of course, the house would deny that if we were to tell them. So there's no point even going there. But
if you just look in your logs, you will see that actually I was set free a few minutes prior to these people being brought in, and one of your guards, on the mere verbal accusation of one of your prisoners, threw me back in jail. And quite frankly, this man, well, I think you should launch an inquiry into him. It is
Look,
not
I don't deal with
appropriate.
that. So,
Sir,
you're talking blank to me.
Let me apologize for them too. They spend too much time speaking to elves. They're not used to speaking to a real man.
He kind of like raises an eyebrow as if you're propositioning him.
Give me an
right?
ass.
That's the look he gets. Like, are you coming on to me? Not like, yeah.
No facial expression.
It's just sort of like a blank, like. So
Actually, dwarves love gnomes. Dwarves like gnomes.
This is most likely
usually half dwarves.
This is most likely a forest gnome, but still.
Dwarves like gnomes.
He kind of like, well. So, assassins. You stole secrets from them. You stole secrets from the dwarves. Particular group, company, they call them nowadays.
Yes.
What did you steal, then?
Well,
Is it on you?
I do not think that we should be telling him these things.
Oh, I
Our
think you'll have a
employer-
much easier time if you say everything. You know what they
I
say.
am happy to wait. I will live longer than you will. And I am happy to wait it out. We will get killed by not only dwarves, but by elves if we tell the details to a random gnome who has just walked in.
I'm not a
In the
random
first
gnome.
place-
I'm investigating your case, and I'm the only chance you have of getting out of here. So, you know.
I'm fairly certain I'll live longer than all of you. But despite that, perhaps my friend here is correct. Aghast, a very appropriately named house because my experience with them has been rather aghast. And you speak to the keeper of secrets, and he will tell you lies, and perhaps you can figure things from there.
Valrorian aghast, but they will deny knowledge of us, so I don't know if there's much point. We are.
And when you're saying that, Layla actually stands up and goes, like at a declaration in court, goes, Valrorian Aghast is my lover. Like very loudly, and the gnome just the other eyebrow raises.
Also, can I just point out that she had nothing to do with the stealing of secrets? She was caught up in it. At the very
Now, I
least,
do have
she
a
should be
witness say
released.
that she brandished a staff of fire against
In
dwarven fellow.
self-defense, she had no reason to be attacked. She was merely with us at the time and got caught up in matters. And as you would, if you are attacked by a dwarf suddenly, brandished her weapon in self-defense.
Especially a dwarf. Very
This
scared.
can all be confirmed. Speak to guards as we enter and leave city over the course of weeks.
That's what we're
Speak
going to
to
be doing.
guards.
That's what we're going to be doing. You're going to
Confirm
just
it.
have to, you know, find
Also,
yourselves comfortable in here for a while, and I'll be back.
There
What
I'm
we
rather
might
com-
do, if we do not have you hunkering about a bulb. My point is, I'm very angry, and I wish for you to leave.
Specifically, specifically with relation to Madame Layla, if you were to speak to a pair of guards who were in the dock area a couple of hours ago, they would confirm that that was where we met her. She has no relation to this other than, as I say, self-defense in that case.
He kind of looks at you for a bit, and he actually rolls up his quill and puts a cap on it, and tucks it in a pocket, and just turns to leave. He doesn't really have a goodbye or anything, and leaves you alone again. And you're just like in this empty bit. You can kind of hear dogs barking. Maybe they have some dogs somewhere else in the building, but you're mostly alone.
Do I have my loot still?
No, they would have taken that. You can see it. It's over there.
I just sit down and face palm. Oh, we were doing so well. House of Gas is going to cut me off. Here goes all of my chances.
I am going to first off, I'm going to pull out the dagger. Then I'm going to start perusing the others. I just need a little thin strip of metal. I'm having a look at Caitlin. Her arm has been a little
Hold
bit
on,
battered.
I've got thin strip of metal for you right here. Gilwin, please help.
What do you need?
Go
I've
over
been
like
looking at Caitlin, sympathetically
Dreamily?
the whole time.
yes, that's the word. Go over like behind the so their backs are like my back is to them or whatever, and open up my cloak a little and like hoist it up to like an area where there's like just like some rot and whatnot, and I clearly have been trying to sew it shut and try to keep it from things
Is it
falling
like
out.
a staple?
Yeah, it's like a bit of metal that's just like jabbed in there. and, like,
So you want me to like shield?
no,
He wants you to
no,
get it
it's like,
out. He's shielding.
I cannot quite reach this.
Oh
Could
yeah.
You just grab that, right? No.
Gilwin, I
really
want you
pull-
to give me a medicine roll.
Okay.
pull really hard.
So two things happen. You Gilwin, you do get it out. You launch back with force. A little bit of pus comes out. I don't think the others would catch it. Gilwin, you do fart on your way down, and it's not a pleasant experience. You like fall, and it like lands on your face, and you know where that was and what's on it. Thorak, you actually feel this sensation of like the guts in this section starting to slough out, like that lurching sensation of like an elevator suddenly going, but just like in one bit, and you look down, it's like it is.
Perhaps asking your aid was a bad idea. You were not very good. Or excuse me for a few moments. This is very uncomfortable.
So I've got.
Do you clean it off with like your cloak, Gilwin?
Okay.
I was saying, do you or don't?
Oh yeah, I would.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
your
I'll clean it
hand,
off.
You hand Vale this
There you go, Vale.
stinking piece of metal.
So Vale grabs it, goes up to the lock. He has a look around, then he kneels down, puts it in his teeth, puts the dagger in.
The taste you get, not
sliding
good.
the dagger.
This has been inside someone.
Tucks it behind his ear. Slides just the tip of the blade of the dagger in for the turning pressure, and then pulls that little bit of metal, and he starts working the lock.
Give me a sleight of hand. It is actually a nice lock. It's one of those things where it's not new, but it's been made to last. It might be honestly over 100 years old, but it is. Whoa! You actually you're doing it. This doesn't even take you long. It's maybe a minute, and no one is currently watching you guys. And you. It's one of those things. If you unlock it, the door starts naturally opening, just sort of the way it's designed, and you kind of catch it so it doesn't make too much noise. But you completely unlock the door.
Well, are we going?
But the gate will make noise. They'll charge in immediately.
No. I've done this before. You walk out like you're supposed to leave. As long as that gnomish fellow isn't about, no one will notice. They are all.
I don't think this is a good idea.
I tell
I'm
you
staying
what.
here regardless.
Tell you what. I will leave. I will sneak out. I will come back.
You
Probably.
go. Perhaps you should stay here. It'd be the smart thing to do. But I have a feeling that being an elf, you'll not do smart thing. So if this is case, perhaps you should go to. Perhaps you should go to Agast and inform them of situation.
Yes.
I will tell them it'll be fine, or they will murder me, and you'll never see me again.
And listen, perhaps you should take with you Gilwyn. Gilwyn is too soft for prison.
Inform Valorian.
Vale gives you an evaluating look, then Gil an evaluating look, and he goes, "Well, I agree. He is perhaps a little bit loud. But Gil, if you want to try and come, then we can go. Yes?
I don't.
It's gone now. So I'm gonna pick up my bits and bobs, not my bow.
Mm-hmm.
It's too big. Too
The
big.
light
too
stuff.
clunky.
I get you. Yeah.
And then I am gonna try and sneak my way out.
Are you going,
So-
Gilwyn?
No.
I've actually been to this prison for quite a long time.
Yes.
So I'm a little bit more aware that I can get to my way that the civilians can come in and out by heading
Yeah.
a different direction.
I think that's reasonable.
hope.
You've now gone in and out of this place 3 times. So you will have an easier time stealthing out of here. It's one of those things. Give me stealth.
Wait, Vale. Pass me the dagger in there. That's mine. Just in case.
Flip him over the dagger.
And my axe.
All right. Calm down there.
You are
sir.
on fire today. It is horrific. Right, I'm gonna that stealth. It's
Okay.
not that bad.
Let me roll some things.
Just for record, plan B is if they spot me and they're like, "Get him," I'm going upstairs and out the window.
Okay.
Get him. Get him.
Always have a
Get
plan
him.
B ready.
Get him. Sounds like Oddworld.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're drinking beer. I want beer.
John Smith.
So, Gil, Vale, your plan is to literally walk out of here as if you belong. And
Yeah.
here's the thing: the people you're looking thought that you were meant to be released already. You know, you were just caught. You were just literally you were given the punishment of pain, which is kind of actually a real thing here.
Yeah, they re-cracked those ribs. that I
They
broke
they
from
beat
before.
him for a while, let him rest for
We
a bit,
don't
and then got
kink
him out.
shame the elves. We can judge them for everything else,
it's-
but we let them enjoy what they enjoy.
If they enjoy it too
Everybody
much, we're going to
lives.
end up with a 40k situation, and we don't want that. Well, Frank does, but that's a different thing for another day. So you actually walk out of here because the couple of people who specifically notice you, and there is one or two, you're going out the front entrance of a police building, right? They're like, no, he was meant to be gone by now. Yeah, look, I can see the bruise on his eye. I can see the cut on his lip. He's meant to be gone by now. So you actually successfully stroll out the front entrance. Do you make your way to Agast as you thought you would?
Well, that worked. I guess I better go and help them out. Hey, he's gonna casually make his way over to House of Gas. He's not like running or sprinting
Cool.
or anything. He's making his way over.
the question is, it's going to be late afternoon by the time you get there. Do you go in through the secret entrance that you were told, or do you walk up to the
Yeah, of course I go in the
officers?
secret
Great.
entrance.
So I assume you're just going to go find Valorian.
I don't want to
right?
get murdered.
You're going to go find
Thrown in the
Valorian.
murder hole. They probably have a cesspit.
You know, everyone needs a sump, right? So you walk in there. The secretary kind of like gives you a very confused look, but doesn't stop you as you just start strolling to Valorian's office. And the thing is, like, you don't even specifically remember the way there, so you're like, quite jaunty because you're out of prison and it's good, but also you're trying to be fairly relaxed. So you go
Nice.
down.
That's
Valorian's
good.
office is closed. I assume you knock, or do you barge in like an asshole?
I'm gonna look through the eye hole. If I can have a snoop and get something on him, then
Give me a
or-
perception roll. I think that's
Or
reasonable.
have a listen.
Yeah.
And if I can get some down in, then that's good for me. Oh, not so good. God damn it!
You actually you look through. You can't see anything, and
Yep,
you
that
know
means
the
someone's
layout.
there.
Of the,
Stand up straight.
you know it's not like you see someone in front of them. You know the layout of that room.
Oh,
It's magically
Ooh.
protected or something, which kind of makes sense.
that's cool.
So yeah, knock like a good boy.
Yeah,
now.
I guess I'm not like
You
a good boy.
knock. A couple of minutes later, you don't hear like a particular scuffle or something. Valorian opens the door. He looks very surprised to see just you.
I realize now that I cannot leave the city, eh? I didn't think our arrangement would work quite that way. But, actually, I am here because I am a very helpful fellow. And all of your other associates, including some red-headed woman, have been arrested. And they are being held by some gnomish twat down in the dock guardhouse. Just say the word. I will go kill him. Say it.
No,
Please.
no,
T-
no,
tell me.
no. Don't kill officials in my city. I'm working to better my city. Just wait right here. I have conversations I need to have. Oh, this is never good.
May I come in?
Yes, sit.
I
And
go
he
straight over
sits.
to the mint.
Yeah, I was gonna say he if you didn't, he was gonna like move them over to you, so you sit like have the mints, and he actually just straight leaves you in the office, and actually just walks out. And you can hear him because the secretary is literally on the floor above him. You can hear him have a sort of quick conversation with him. It's quick, and he's a little annoyed. But you don't get any of the words, unless you want to do a perception check to really get more of the conversation, but I don't know how much you care.
I'd actually be more interested in anything
Snooping?
in the
I thought
room.
you'd snoop.
I'd actually be more interested in what's in the room, right? Anything look a little bit valuable.
There's a
tiny,
fancy sword on the back of behind his chair.
Too big, go missing.
Too big.
Obvious.
There's a couple of nice, everything that Valorian has.
I'm up for a nice pen or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a nice quill. Is not a pen. He has some nice quills, some fancy inks of various colors. Actually, one of them seems to be completely clear, which is very mildly interesting.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take that bottle of clear ink, but nothing else.
Okay.
Just little
Okay,
fast
cool.
fingers.
So, a couple of hours pass.
It's going in under my sash.
The gnomish fellow comes back down to your lot, and kind of like rolling his eyes. So, yep, Agast has come to get you out. So you were telling the truth, but just be known. If we
Just be
see any
known.
of you again,
Yeah, you made the joke that I wanted. I was like, oh, I can't say I'm not there.
just know that you're on thin ice, all of you. So, and he like goes to unlock the door and notices it's unlocked and has a very confused look on his face for a minute and like looks at the lock and then like shakes his head as if why is he bothered about that right now, and just kind of like, you can go on, piss off.
Come on, Forak, let's go, gnome. And then I walk out confidently.
I'd apologise to him on the way out and follow the rest out.
Oh, I love it.
Literally, while you leave, Valorian is there. He is dad mad, you know. He's not angry, but you can see that, like, disappointment that's bordering on frustration. And especially, like, he looks at Caitlin, who is coated in blood, and that kind of goes to the eye, like... And then he kind of looks at Layla, and he actually kind of, like, looks at Layla and then looks away. And then, clears his throat. Like, well, I guess we'll be back to my estate, then. We have business to attend to. And, starts leading you back across the city. And interestingly enough, usually we walking across the city, he goes over to a punt, to a canal boat that has some random, like, teenage equivalent elf kind of Vales-y age piloting it. And just kind of assumes all the rest of you are going to get on.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah. So that is a far quicker way across the city, but of course money. You actually go into the estate, the estate has canal access. You go in there, you see him pay the worker. It's quite late now, but there are still people around. Most people around, you assume, are sort of administrators, you know. You clearly see someone, like, checking off all the resources they have at the dock, like writing it all down, double checking it. And you do get a couple of looks, and every time someone looks at you, you see Valorian get a little more annoyed. Now, the interesting thing is, he's not taking you back to his office. He's taking you across the estate building. And at this time, someone has gone to get Vale.
Vale's just like, he's got bored while he's down there, and he had a couple of mints, and then he was like, get kind of sticky there, and he's just sitting there like making a little horse out the mints, sticking it, pushing.
Yeah, like like.
Did you take that one back out from before, or do you think he's perhaps eating the one that Forak once tasted?
Oh, that's a good point. I think
it's.
Yeah,
but it touched other ones.
I don't think.
It
I
touched
think
other ones,
yeah.
But
and you know, most people when they see a bowl of mints, they don't actually take one because one, who takes a mint, and then two, how long have they been there? So just so you know,
it seems a bit odd in the first place. It seems a bit odd for a keeper of secrets to have a bowl of mints. Like, it's like
you think about it, he probably has a lot of meetings, right?
Yeah. It's like it's actually a truth serum, but you don't realize it's like every mint you eat gives you a -1 to your will saves against telling the truth, or like deception rolls.
Now let's discuss this double homicide. Would you like a mint imperial, by the way?
Now that's gnomish investigating. So a little random person goes to. It's actually the secretary goes to get Vale and sort of escorts you. You go across a courtyard that's very beautiful. You can immediately recognize a statue of the god of all elves, Corellin. Very beautiful statue. Beautiful, heroic-looking elf. It doesn't actually look like as proud as elves. Kind of got a bit of a almost sorrowful face. But that's the main thing of note as you're going around these castle grounds.
Ollie, is Corellian, is he portrayed as male, female, or like hard androgyny?
Depends. This one's male.
This one.
This one is male.
One.
I actually had this conversation with Neil because he didn't believe me that Corellin was androgynous.
Oh yeah,
purely
androgynous.
Still haven't seen any written evidence from Ollie on that one. He's
but,
depicted
it's always one of the ones that
I will provide. I will gladly provide it for you. But no, he's completely androgynous and his sex.
The way I'm
like
running it is he kind
valuable.
of decides. Depending when he makes his avatar.
It's one of those things where you could have like statues of his where like certain lighting will portray it as different ways because elves are all androgynous.
Yes.
But anyway, so as we go past that thing, I'll actually like nudge Gilwin and be like, "This man here, you fight like this man here." He he removed the eye of the god of orcs. I have much respect for this man. His precision with his weaponry is very, very good. Precision with your rapier, very similar.
Does that mean you respect me, Forak?
I've said as such, yes.
Yeah, but I just like to hear it every now and then.
Yes, we need to stroke many things on you. I get it.
Yeah.
And one of the things you notice is near that statue, As you're going more to where the forge buildings are and warehouses, and you're kind of going into one of the forge buildings, and it's not like a dwarven forge. This is a beautiful part of a castle. There's another statue of another god. It's got the same sort of thing as the Corellan statue, but it's way smaller. But it looks like it's maybe been passed more. If anyone cares, you can do a religion roll on it.
Caitlin
Yeah,
cares.
I'll do it.
It's one of those things where the statue of Corellan had a few candles by it, and actually had a sword laid out in front of it. This one has a lot of candles and a lot of little packages, and the parts of it are worn. All of you
One
know.
more, and we've got a flash.
Yeah,
Nice.
I want to see. Does Gilwin just not give a fuck?
No, Gilwin's Mr.
I'll-
Knowledge.
I'll do it just for.
You want to see? Okay,
You're a
Gilwin.
bard,
Gilwin's the only
motherfucker.
person who doesn't know.
You're a bard.
Everyone else.
What? What? He's
Everyone
like, listen, I only know shit about myself, my dad, and how I feel about ladies, and other things about me.
So everyone else recognizes that this is a statue to a archfey, an archfey known as the Hand, which is an archfey worshipped commonly by laborers. You know, it's literally you see like this more androgynous than Corellan is. It's almost featureless with 8 arms, and each one is holding a different implement. And he is, laborers worship him, and so all the people working the forges, working the transport, everything are paying respect for him. And there, there's the obvious note there that more people are paying respect to this Fae than to the god. Blah blah. So, he leads you into the forge room. It is empty, no one's there. He leads you back through it into the back, where there is a large. Probably was once a storeroom. Whatever was in there was cleared out. There's still the occasional. There's like a bag of something and stuff, but mostly there is a desk and lots of laid out. What's it called? Laid out papers and parchments. And there is the rifle you brought him, and the fire powder, and the blueprints. And there's clearly elven redesigns of the weapon and how they would get it to function and things like that. This is the base of operations for the gun making. Right, and that's very obvious. And Vale is brought in a little while after you are, and Layla's like, what is all this?
We're in the secret lab. We're in the secret lab. Oh my god, we're in the secret lab.
This is the stuff we stole.
Basically, yes.
Why would you steal all of this? And Valerian's like, it's the newest step in weapons, and that's why I need your help, Layla. And Layla just kind of like rolled her eyes and like, you'll do anything to try and get me to hang around again, won't you? And Valerian just gives a very, like, pause. Awkward air.
I thought he was your lover. Why are you so estranged?
It was a case once. I tried to use that as an excuse to get out of jail, because maybe they would go and he would say yes.
That is cold.
Valerian just kind of, like, coughs a bit.
I thought this was a lie. I did not think... isn't he far older than you by, like, century?
He's not that old, but yes, that was a deciding factor in my decision to leave a while ago.
How does one when you're that far apart? How do you find similar interests? I mean, I suppose
Valerian just kind of like
Vale's gonna come up and like,
for his age.
Vale's gonna come up and like pat you on the shoulder and say, "Huh? What about us?"
Oh, to her or me?
No.
No,
It's
it's
to
up
you.
to you.
I do not understand.
How did we find things in common? We
don't.
drank shit whiskey.
Well, yes, shit with yeah. It's just, I kind of like I actually will smile and like nod and just kind of like trail off.
hey. Valerian is very like yes. Well, we're going to need your assistance with your fire magic for this. And Leia's like, fire magic. And there's a little bit more of a conversation. I'm not going to roleplay all of it, of him trying to explain the basis of how this stuff works, and what he wants of her, which is a replacement for the fire powder, a magical replacement, right? That's why he wants her. He says he notices the day is late. There's no windows in this room. There is a chimney, but there's no windows. And kind of notices the day is late, and is like, you four. You should rest. I heard assassins. Trouble for another time we should discuss. But me and Layla will discuss this with our other arcanists. return in the morning once you've all had full sleep, and he'll actually like reach into his pockets and he'll hand Caitlin 16 gold, like here's and money for your rooms. He doesn't say that, but you can assume.
Thank you, Sir Valerian, and again, apologies for the trouble, although I do not think we could have avoided it, but...
At this point, I need you more for your successes than your failures, so...
Quite. Well, on the morrow then, and I would just leave.
He nods, and, yeah...
Did he say our failures? Like, it wasn't his fault that this happened.
We're so
Does he not understand? And I'm saying this as they're walking out the room. I'm like, does he not understand this is retaliation for actions of his, not of ours? Perhaps this man was not raised well because he does not take responsibility for his actions.
We were disposable pawns, Sir Thorak. He wouldn't quite easily cut us off.
I understand this. I understand this. This is not a surprise. But the fact that he would then speak to us like we do not know the truth of matters, to disregard us to others, yes, but to our own faces?
People on the top always blame the people on the bottom. If your chair snaps, you blame the chair, you don't blame your fat gut.
But you do not say to the chair it was the chair's fault. You tell your lover that it is the chair's fault. There's no deception here. We know truth. I think he's just a crazy person.
To be honest, I think we are quite lucky that he got us out of prison.
Exactly.
Well, got you out of prison.
I was expecting to be left there, although I suppose he had to.
I thought I was going to go in that room. He walked off. I thought a guard was going to come in and slit my throat. No, seriously, I thought he left. He offered me a mint and everything. It was far too horrible.
Yes,
Well,
thank you for getting him veiled. It would have been easy for you to have escaped at that point, to be quite frank.
No, it would not. They will not let me out of the city. I have already tried to leave you and never see any of you again. But last time I tried, they throw me in that prison. They break a couple of my ribs. It was pretty nasty.
This is very, very discomforting. Two things. One, if they had killed us in the prison, then perhaps we should all rejoice that justice would have been served. And two, I honestly thought for a moment there that you had a spark of honor in yourself, and you did this out of this. Instead, it is no choice. You did this because you have to. You are
just
an elf.
because
I
have
am
no
mistaken
choice.
for thinking something different.
Just because I have no choice does not mean I would have made a different choice.
I thought that as well.
I now
but
get
then-
my rooms paid for tonight.
Mhm.
But as for the moment, it does appear that I am stuck with you. It is not that I dislike you, but this life is not the way to build infamy as such. I was hoping for 20 years from now you to be hearing about Vale the Dread Pirate, you know. No one would forget the Sun Elves then, eh?
Perhaps then Gilwyn sings song about Vale, the dead pirate.
Yes, that is more likely for the moment, I think.
Not a very catchy name. We'll work on that one.
So you leave in this old part of the city. You can quite easily find rooms. Throw me a gold for your food and money. I imagine Kate will actually pay you the money he gave you. If you do want to go to a fancy place, you can. But I imagine you'll just go to a comfortable place. He gave you way too much money because he is
Define
noble-born.
comfort.
Frank, if you really want to just live in the sewers again, technically you can.
Actually,
I mean, that gold would go a long way for other things.
I will offer these guys. Since Vale was going to bugger off and leave us, maybe we won't be around for much longer, so we should probably spend a nice night together. Why don't we just go all out?
Well, I don't. This money is more than enough for a single night.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah.
They did not let me drink in prison.
Yes. Well, I think after all we've done, I would not be averse to that.
Borak.
Just to clarify, kid, I am not going to be around. I just thought I best see whether I could secure passage out on a boat, and they said no, and they beat me, and they beat me some more. It is not that I do not like any of you. It is just a matter of I am a caged bird. I cannot soar. You understand this as a bird? No?
Yeah, I understand.
All right.
It was
so,
more just to get my point along.
You go, if you want to spend, it depends. How much of a night out are you thinking? Like, if you just want to whop it up to 2 gold each, that'll be a night out. If you want to have a fucking night to remember, you whop it up even more.
Doing the old,
4 gold each.
4 gold each, yeah.
The Irradian pub crawl. Right?
Oh, the Golden Tree! You could do the Golden Tree. Gilwyn will have heard of the Golden Tree, a pub crawl across Aradia. You need an entire day to do it, though. It is an entire day event. And you don't really have time. But maybe this is what you're talking about as you're going to find one of the pubs on it. Like, oh, this is one of the stops on the Golden Tree. And you're going to a very, very high-class establishment. You know, it's like you're drinking proper... Forak, even if he actually stays around, does Forak stay around?
Why would he not?
Okay, you can actually get proper Crimson Mountain Dwarven whiskey, like the real stuff, if you wanted it.
Why would I do that?
I mean, actually, like, assume that you would want it, and then you're like, no, that one. You're like, oh.
This over here. Is this shit?
I come back with 4
I
shots
take
of it,
this
and I'm
shit.
like, hey, Forak, hey, I bought you all this.
Bro.
No.
Well, I'll take that. I'll actually take that, and what I'll do is I'll literally save it for the night, so I can wash down all the shit I drink all night with one last.
That's actually pretty smart. So, we're going to discuss your night out as much as you want to, honestly. You know how D&D is. A night out could go the entire session, or could just be a footnote. We'll see.
Yeah.
After our first break, woo,
Let's
you
go
got
to-
arrested briefly, and then you're not.
Draw attention to the cute kitty first.
Yeah, and my kitty is helping us. She's adorable.
Kitty! Hey, kitty!
Do I say, Ollie, show me that pussy?
Yes. Yes, you do. Goodbye.